You got questions, I got answers. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always, I'm Andrew. Today, I've got another book tag for you. But before we get to that book tag, make sure you are liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That said, guys, this is the 20 questions book tag, and I was tagged by my good friend Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations. Frankly, I've been seeing this tag go around for a little while, and I've been meaning to get to it, and now's the perfect opportunity because I got an amazing shout out from Petrik Leo, and I cannot thank him enough for everything that he does for our community, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who has come to check out the channel because of Petrik's shout out. So this one's kind of for you. Alright, so this is 20 questions, so let's just get right on in. It's pretty short, so we'll see what we can do here. Alright, I got my questions over here on my screen. So number one, how many books are too many books in a series? Typically for me, it's too many books in a series is one too many that you need to tell your story. So basically, if you've kind of like jumped the shark a little bit and you just keep writing a book, you've gone too far. I don't like 20 books in a series. Typically, it's very rare that 20 books in a series is going to be okay with me. So I like a good, concise story. So I prefer trilogies, quartets, or a good saga. I can get behind a good saga as well. But typically, I don't like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 books in a series. I do have some exceptions to this rule. Of course, there's Realm of the Elderlings, but that's broken up into sub-series. Same thing with Discworld, that's also broken up into sub-series. And then, of course, I will always forgive The Wheel of Time for being very, very long because it is my origin fantasy. It helped get me into reading epic fantasy. So, yeah, it's kind of a hard, I don't typically read standalones. So I think you usually need, for me, more than one story to really, really get me in and hooked. Oh, with also exceptions. How do I feel about cliffhangers? It depends on the severity of the cliffhanger and the emotional punch that cliffhanger delivers. So if I know that a book has a huge cliffhanger and the series is unfinished, and there's one more book in the series, I will typically hold off. But if the series is complete and there's a cliffhanger, I'll just buy the whole series and just blast right on through it. I don't like a whole lot of waiting when I'm reading my books just because I get a little bit of anxiety. Right here, Faithful and the Fallen is a perfect example. I am so glad I had the entire series before I started it because each book has a cliffhanger. And I just really needed that series to be complete and in my hands, or I'd have probably had a panic attack. Not really, but it's just so nice to not have to wait for the next book in the series, and you can just read it all in one continuous go, and then you're just all taken care of. So number 3, hardcover or paperback? I tend to prefer hardcover for display purposes, but I just love paperback for that nice flop, and it's just great for reading. Look at that. You've got that nice straight spine, and I love paperbacks for that reason. Let's see. My favorite book of all time is The Wheel of Time, but I always say that, so I'm going to say a new favorite. And a new favorite of mine is The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. I absolutely adored this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was a great modern take on a classic style story, and I just fell in love with this big, beefy book. And give it a very, 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 very high recommend. Alright, moving right along. Let's see, we've got my least favorite book. So I don't actually keep copies of my least favorite books. But I would have to say my least favorite books, as of right now, is probably either The Poppy War or 5 Warrior Angels. I finished Forgetting Moon, and I finished the first book in Poppy War, and I just didn't love either of those books. So right now, those are kind of my least favorites because I won't judge a book that I haven't finished. I could also put Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss on that list, but it's a DNF, and so I can't say it's my least favorite book because I never finished it. So I don't have a full-fledged opinion. Love triangles, yes or no? I don't read a lot of love triangles. Typically, if there's a love triangle in the books that I am reading, it's kind of like background noise, so I don't tend to mind them unless you shove it straight in my face. Then I kind of get a little annoyed with them. So it's very rare that you can do a love triangle in an original, creative, and fulfilling way. So I'm going to say no. But if they're there, I don't tend to mind them unless, again, it's just shoved straight into my face. Alright, so number 7, the most recent book that you just couldn't finish. So I tend to have a problem. Other than The Wise Man's Fear, because I still own that book, I tend to unhaul books I don't finish, or I'll, delete them from my Kindle. So I erase them from my memory. Yeah, I've got a list of DNF'd books that I like to put on my DNF redemption. But for the life of me right now, I could not think of one. So, yeah, I just kind of wipe them from my brain and move on. Alright, and number 8, a book you are currently reading. I am currently reading Idle's Fall by Mike Shell, which is the third and final book in the Iconoclast trilogy, and I am having a blast. I'm about 5 chapters in. I've really, really enjoyed this series. It's a lot of fun, and these books feel great in the hand, too, which makes me happy to have them in my collection now. I am excited to just finish this trilogy, and I might even do a reread here soon because I enjoyed it that much. We'll see what happens. I've got some ideas and or plans, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I really, really enjoyed Iconoclasts. Alright, let's see. Book you're currently reading, Idle's Fall. What is the last book you recommended to someone? Well, I recommend books all of the time here on BookTube. So literally, I am always recommending books nonstop. I think my last book review was Senilin Ascends. So I'm going to say my last book recommendation, because I gave it 4.5 stars, is going to be Senilin Ascends. Last book you recommended to someone. Oldest book that you've read by publication date. Oh, geez. I don't know. I read a lot of classics. I'm going to go ahead and say Dune was the 70s. Was Lord of the Rings the 70s as well? I'm going to probably say Lord of the Rings. I might have read some stuff older than that, but we're going to go with The Hobbit. So, Hobbit and or Lord of the Rings is my answer right there. Newest book that you've read, publication date. I would probably say that that's going to be Idle's Fall. I believe this just came out probably in the last couple months. So, we're going to go with Idle's Fall. I'm still in the middle of reading it, but because I am reading it, I'm going to count that one as well as a double answer. Just to make sure that I am in fact correct. Yes, we're going to go with that. Idle's Fall for both answers. Alright, my favorite author. That is such a hard question. So I love Robert Jordan, but I also love Robin Hobb. I love Mike Shell. I love John Gwynne. I love Pierce Brown. I like Michael J. Sullivan. Love Brandon Sanderson. Terry Pratchett. Daniel Barnett. Will White. I've got so many authors that I just love so much. So I may have to do an updated, favorite videos read. Or updated favorite authors. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I can't pick between all those. Because I've just got so many. And Jim Butcher's in that mix, too. Drew Hayes. I could probably just list a bunch of authors that I'm absolutely in love with. But buying books or borrowing books. I am a book buyer. I have a book collecting habit, and I like to say that sometimes I even read the books that I collect. Let's see. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. I could name probably Poppy War, Rage of Dragons, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. So there's a few that like MK Jemison. I'm going to be trying that one again. But yeah, the second person POV just drives me nuts. I've been told that Rage of Dragons I stopped right before it got good, and then I've been told I need to push on through to Dragon Republic for the Poppy War. So we'll see what happens. I do have a series on the channel that I've recently started called DNF Redemption. So a lot of the books that I don't like, I've got a list of DNFs, and I couldn't tell you what a single one of them was, because I don't tend to DNF in the middle of a book. But yeah, so I will be revisiting a lot of my DNFs. Okay, so we've got number 15, bookmarks or dog ears. Listen, I'm not a monster. I don't dog ear my books. I use bookmarks. Number 16, a book that you can always reread. For me, that is always The Eye of the World. I can reread Eye of the World pretty much ad nauseum. I would like to think as well that Malice falls into this category, so does Guards. Probably The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding will fall into this category. I have read so many great, fantastic books this year. Alright, number 17. Can you read while hearing music? Sort of. So I've got to be in a specific mindset where I am just in a reading mood, and then I have to tune everything else out. And so, like, I can read with the TV on, but it's harder for me to focus. I like reading with white noise, but that's just because it cuts down on outside noise. So, yes and no, depending on my mood. Alright, number 18, one POV or multiple POVs, point of view. I like either. Honestly, I love a good multi-POV. Faithful and the Fallen is a great indicator of this. But I also don't mind, like, Kings of the Wild is a single POV. I love that one. Yeah, so... Actually, it looks like I'm more geared toward... I'm looking at my bookshelves going, where's a single POV book? I've got a few. It looks like I'm more geared towards multi-POVs. I just learned something about myself. So it looks like we learned together. Alright, number 19. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I am a multi-day reader. It is very rare these days because I have a small daughter that I can read a book in one sitting. It would have to be like yay big. Like I can read Daniel Barnett books, usually in like a sitting or two, and those are very, very short. But yeah, no, I am a multi-day reader. All right, and moving on to number 20. Who do you tag? I am going to tag my good buddy Liam from Liam's Lyceum. He is new to BookTube, and I just have to tag him. The next person I'm going to tag is Kisty from Kisty Reads. Kisty's amazing. Kisty's got just this great shooting setup, and she reads good books, and she's just very well spoken on camera. One day, when I grow up, I hope to be as good as Kisty. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely tag Kisty. I'm also going to tag Ariel from A Cup of Books, because Ariel created an amazing tag that I did a couple weeks ago, and I just really want to see her take on this tag. I'm also going to tag a fourth group. I'm going to tag an Erudite Adventure. These are two lovely, lovely individuals. I believe they're brother and sister who do a BookTube channel together, and they are just, I think they're over 100 subscribers now at this point. You'll be able to see it right here. But they're fantastic. I love talking to them in Discord, and I just want to know more about them. So that said, guys, that is the 20 questions book tag. If you want to do this tag yourself, I will have it down in the description section down below. So that said, guys, let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of all my answers, like I said, or if you want to talk on a more regular basis, you can check the description down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord. We would love to have you. So, till next time, guys, peace out, stay magical, bye.